I tell you what's not unlimited, the amount of dead money that is going to be on the Broncos cap over the next 2 years.
Well, it's unlimited.
$85 million. Woo! Yeah.
Man, a cap room is very limited
Ugh.
now. So that's the problem. It is.
Yes.
Spicy indeed.
Yeah.
But it's over.
Nice knowing you, guy. Russell Wilson is gone. He is no longer a Bronco. They make it official today. The team releases a statement thanking Russ for taking an awful lot of money away from them. Russ putting out a statement basically thanking the Broncos for all the money, and now he will. Unfortunately, Andy, it's going to be tough to watch him win 2 Super Bowls in the next 5 years in a different uniform.
He did not acknowledge. He went Troy Tulowitzki when he retired.
Yeah.
And did not acknowledge any ownership.
No
GM.
No
Coach.
No, not even
You know
Haxie
what?
got to mention in there.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he did not acknowledge Sean Payton. Little surprised he didn't acknowledge George.
George, thank you for all the money.
And what about, there are a lot of owners. He could have pick and choose.
Yeah.
He could have chose,
I
I
mean,
guess.
Lewis Hamilton and
Yeah.
Condi are still cool with him, right?
You and Lewis have been doing the Monaco thing, right?
Yeah.
So-
You guys can still be cool, sure. Yeah.
Does
Russ-
Lewis sell his shares now? Does he get out of this thing?
This thing's dive bombing on me. I had no idea when I bought 0.0001% of this team.
Hold
what
on,
I
you
was
got the
getting
Chris
into.
Bryant option plan on how to buy things? No idea?
No idea. Yes, Broncos country, thank you, says Russell Wilson. He made an awful lot of money out of them. It's over. Sooner than later happened today, Andy. Russell Wilson has indeed been released by the Broncos. They will incur an $85 million dead cap hit. It will be spread over 2 years, $35.4 million this season, $49.6 million worth of their cap space. Next year, he is off the books as of 2026. Obviously, the increase in salary cap this year helps a little.
I guess.
But, man.
Not much.
You've in all seriousness, and we've spent so much time talking about this, you have got to hate a player so much to be willing to eat $85 million worth of cap space for him to just not even be on your football
To not even
team.
try to get through one more year when it would have been a little easier.
Yeah, no. They were just
Not
like,
to mention 2.
nah, we good.
All right, well, now we get to see if Sean Payton does know how to draft a quarterback and develop them, and we just go on from there. Now, by the way, your little about the salary cap going up, that's like when they offer to make your first payment for you. That's about all the salary cap going up did help as far as paying this thing off.
Yes, it helps a little bit. It's, man. Yeah, that contract, my God. What hurts more, Andy, the trade and the assets you gave up, or the contract and what is still hanging around?
I'll add it here.
In addition to all the good players you don't have because you gave them up to get him.
Look, man, it's D, okay?
Mhm.
It's the old everything.
Yeah.
Because it's all the players you don't have and the draft capital that you gave up.
Mhm.
And frankly, I don't know. I still am not sure. Maybe Shelby Harris is the only one that probably still would have been around here from that group that you finally gave up on.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know about Fant. I still don't think in Locke. But he gave up the 2 draft picks, the 2 firsts for him, the first for Pate.
2 first, 2 seconds, Andy.
That somehow you brought in a coach
A 5th.
who blatantly, clearly he didn't want to deal with this guy.
Yeah, he didn't want him on his team.
And so now you get to create a situation where it's just all so bad. Now, it's all less bad if Sean Payton turns into New Orleans Sean Payton and that's the run you go on. Then it's all fine. But if that doesn't happen, how all this crap got together, what a mess. Yeah. Let me ask you this too. Is it officially time to retire Broncos country? Has it not? Has it not been stained by the Broncos country Let's Ride? From every time you hear it from this point forward,
you're gonna
the
think
Let's
that.
Ride is
Yeah.
going to be attached to it.
You're
right?
gonna think that, absolutely.
So what is the opposite of Let's Ride? Are we tying it up? Let's park? I mean, how do you park a horse?
I mean, today it's Broncos country, let's cry. Okay, that's
yeah. That's been going on for over a year.
Yeah, it really has been.
What do? You tie your horse up to the old pole there in front of the saloon?
Oof. Man.
Is there a term for that? You don't park a horse, right? Because that's what he did today.
Yeah, you today
Sadly, today he might have shot the horse.
they did shoot the horse. Took it out back and put it right between the eyes and said, I got a place for you to ride to. Yeah, enjoy this, my guy.
Your new name is Elmer.
Wow.
That is dangerous.
Yeah. We knew this was coming. We knew this was coming, and yet when it becomes that stark, when it's just like, okay, this is black and white, okay? You weren't able to figure anything out. You could remember last week George Paton didn't even try to lie about a trade or anything else like that. Just nobody. No. Okay. All right. Thanks, George. Like they weren't able to find any method to make it easier. Russ had no interest in helping these guys out whatsoever at all. The divorce was ugly. The trade was bad. The contract was bad. The football was bad. 11 wins in 2 years out of a guy that it's again, and we'll bring the audio back today. We'll play the audio of me and Andy sounded like morons the day that they acquired Russell Wilson, just being like, hey, we're going to score points and we're going to win football games. And I think the people inside the building honestly thought that. I think Nathaniel Hackett sounded like a nincompoop in the open right there. I think he honestly felt that way. He was like, hey, this is awesome. We got Russ. The only problem is that you didn't. That guy, he was back in Seattle. You never got that version of the player that you thought you were going to get, to the point where an organization is willing to say, we will torpedo our financials just for the sake of not having him on our football team anymore.
Yeah.
It's incredible, Andy.
Well, it is. I'm not going to defend that decision. I still think there's other things you could have done other than this, but we're here and they've done it. So It is what it is now.
See, I'm on the flip side. I'm just on
I know you are.
You hate a player, get him out of here.
Nah, well.
There's no point in continuing to live a miserable existence.
We'll see how this offseason goes, because the miserable existence doesn't leave with him. That's the problem.
Oh, there's not. They have very little flexibility. Now, again, I've explained this over and over again. Financially, they're in the same boat.
Yeah, but again, you don't have the player
year.
that could be an option. You look at it as not wasted money. I do.
Right,
it's all
but,
wasted.
Well, it's wasted, but it's wasted if he's on the roster or off because you didn't like him anyway.
Well, but if he's better than what you're about to trot out there, you could have just tried to get by.
I mean,
they didn't want to.
They clearly don't view it that way.
Didn't want to do that.
Yes.
So it's his house. We've known this for a while.
Yeah.
It's his house. He gets to decorate it.
Yeah.
He's getting rid of some of the bathrooms. He's going to turn those into something else.
Bad trades are going to happen. Bad contracts are going to happen. In all seriousness, and this is abysmal, okay? This is cratering. This is like, this is selling Babe Ruth to the Yankees for $100,000. Like, this is awful. But at the end of the day, that's the messy bed full of bed bugs and a dead horse's head that you must now lie in, and that's the world that the Broncos are in, and they've chosen to do so.
Yeah, it's this has got to be this is the worst trade in Denver history, and it's got to be up there for all-timer in sports, doesn't it?
I mean, I would argue the Nolan trade is staring right back at it, going,
yeah, but see, again, Nate, I don't disagree with you. I mean, how do you pay $50 million to give up a Hall of Famer?
A Hall of Famer.
But at the same time, at least it didn't, like, what this does to your ability to build a team for 2 years, well, at least one, maybe the cap gives another. At least that didn't happen.
I haven't noticed the Rockies building much over the last couple of years.
But in theory, Nate, you could have.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
You could have spread the 182 over, say, 3 guys instead of just one who didn't realize you weren't very good.
Well, no, I was going to say they were able to take the money and they were able to get Chris Bryant. So see, all is perfectly fine with it. It's over, man. The Russell Wilson era, mercifully and yet painfully, comes to a conclusion.
Is it an
today.
era? It can't be an era.
2 years.
That's not an era.
I mean, it's a large error.
That's 2 years. High school's longer.
For some
College
kids.
is longer.
Don't brag about it. For some kids.
What? You're Sheldon Cooper? You got through in 2? You went to Harvard when you were done?
I was kind of thinking the other direction.
No, it's
but-
like a guy retiring after 2 years. You're not really retiring. You only made it 2 years. Don't say you're retiring. Just say you're off to pursue other things.
You don't call it an era?
Oh, retire? No, it was not an era.
What was this?
It was like you said. It
Just
it
like a
was
bad
an
rash?
error. That was it. It was a period.
Yeah.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things,
I usually thought that's only a week. It's
Listen,
Kreckman and Lindahl. We're
from
with
2020
you.
to 2029, that's the era.
Until 6 p.m.
I knew.
today. The Russ, the debacle is over.
It's just a debacle.
Just a debacle.
It's a debacle. 2 years of a debacle.
Okay, 303-504-0925. We open up the text line to you today. What is the word you would use to describe what all this was?
We got some new slogans, too.
Let's test out the listeners' vocabularies today. Nuggets rule, Avalanche back at it tonight. Tough one on Saturday. College buckets, hell, it's March. We got a lot going on. It's Kreckman and Lindahl.